All right, today I'm talking about a really important aspect when you first start getting into health and fitness. It's going to be the fact that you're going to hit your first plateau, and it often happens sooner than you think. What happens when you first get into fitness after a long time away, or if it's the first time you're doing it in your life, is you're going to see massive improvement early on. And then you're going to hit your first plateau, which is going to be incredibly discouraging. What's going to happen is the gains or the great weight losses that you've been experiencing are going to slow right down or completely come to a stop. I want to tell you, you have to push through that plateau. That is completely normal, and 100% of people experience it to some degree. You have to push through, and you have to realize what's happening to your body. Everybody at the start of weightlifting or cardio get what's called newbie gains, and that's an incredible amount of gains early on. That is not sustainable. There's a lot of things that happen when you first start working out when you haven't in a while. It's body recomposition. What happens is you're going to lose a lot of fat quickly if you're looking for weight loss, and if you're also weight training at the same time, you're going to gain muscle. Now, what's going to happen is initially that weight loss is going to be extreme. You're going to lose a lot, 10, 15 pounds in a matter of weeks. That is not a sustainable weight. After those initial pounds are dropped, is your body is going to start the recomposition process, in which it's going to be burning fat. You're going to be losing that fat, but you're also going to be building muscle. And what's going to happen if you rely on the scale only to determine your success is you're going to see that you're not losing weight like you were. But what's happening is you're still losing the fat, but you're also building muscle. Now, muscle's smaller, it's more dense. So even though you're going to lose inches around your waist, you might not see it on the scale because you're building up in muscle. But your body is building in a better way. So even though you won't necessarily see it on the scale, you have to trust the system and know that you're still rebuilding your body properly. Muscle is going to take up less space. So even though the circumference around your stomach is getting smaller, your arms could be building up. It could be building muscle. So your weight might actually increase, but it's a healthier weight. It's muscle. It's still less fat, and these are still healthy gains. There's a few other things you need to focus on in order to continue progressing properly. Inconsistency could end up happening, so you need to be really consistent with your workout routine and your diet. You can get away with that early on. Once again, talking about those early gains, pretty much anything you do is going to work initially. But you do have to get consistent. You have to go to the gym regularly if you want to continue on that path. Otherwise, you're going to hit that plateau and you're going to stay there. You need to start strengthening your diet. You need to tighten your diet. You need to make sure that the calories you're consuming are healthy calories. And you need to make sure you're staying in a calorie deficit if you're looking to lose weight. If you're looking to build muscle, that doesn't mean you can just throw calories into your diet. You need to have a calorie surplus just north of what you need to maintain. So we're not talking about 1,000, 1,500 calories. We're talking about a calorie surplus of maybe 500 calories, and that also applies for a deficit. If you want to have a calorie deficit, you don't want to have like a 1,500 calorie deficit. You want to go to 500 calorie deficit. The reason is if you go too low, your body will go into shock. Things will start shutting down. Your body metabolism could slow, meaning that you're permanently, even at rest, burning less calories. You don't want that. You want things to be healthy, and more importantly, you want things to be sustainable. The 500 calorie deficit or surplus is very sustainable and very healthy. You need to stick with it in the long term and don't worry about quick fixes or quick results. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. So you need to do things the healthy, proper way. One final thing to know is that something people don't think about a lot when they start in health and fitness is you need to think about recovery, and you need to work recovery into your routine. And what that means is you need to sleep enough. You do not build muscle in the gym. You do not. You can swell in the gym. Your muscles can swell with blood, but you do not build them. All that swelling goes away. That is just the blood in your muscle. You build all your muscle out of the gym. You recover, your body recovers. Your body recovers from heavy cardio the same way. You need to rest. And what that means is you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. Getting the minimum amount of sleep is just as important as your workout, even though it doesn't feel like it. It feels like you're building muscle in the gym. You're not. You build muscle when you recover. recover. This applies for recovery days. You do not lift weights. You do not push yourself 100% 7 days a week. Your body needs rest days. Initially, 3 days in the gym is probably enough. You can bump that up to 5, maybe 6 days when you get more experience, but you do need rest days. And when you get to the gym 6 days a week, it involves a split. At that point, you need to know how to work some muscles while you're letting other muscles recover, and that's called a gym split. When it comes to cardio, things are a little different, but your body does need to rest. It's important that you build that into your routine once again for sustainability. Everything's going to work initially, but you're never going to get to your absolute weight loss or muscle building goal just in the initial phase. You need to get through these plateaus, or you need to prevent them from happening altogether. And you do that by putting your best practices forward right from the start. That involves sleeping, that involves rest days, that involves not overtraining, and it does involve not undertraining. And what that means is staying consistent. You don't miss workouts. You come, you create a SMART schedule, and SMART means not overtraining, but you have to stick with it. You get your rest days in there, but you don't take additional rest days that you don't need just because you don't feel like the gym. You have to be consistent. And when it comes to your diet, you have to be consistent all the time. That means no cheat days. There is no room for a cheat day if you're trying to lose weight, let me tell you. When it comes to bulking, things get a little gray. There's a lot of old school trains of thought on dirty bulking. That's a whole other game. We're going to talk about weight loss and calorie deficits. You can't possibly have a calorie deficit if you're going to have a cheat day. Cheat meals, maybe. It's possible to incorporate a little cheating into your diet because you can cut out other things, but you really do need to stay consistent. I hope you guys enjoyed that, but I really think it's important to talk about that first plateau. I know a lot of people are getting into fitness and they don't understand what happens when they see all that initial progress. It's so encouraging, and then you hit that plateau and it's like, this is it. I didn't lose any weight, even though on week 6 and 7, I worked exactly as hard as week 4 and 5. It's not enough. It gets to the point where that's not enough. And there's one other thing you need to know about, and this could be a video all in itself, but you should be aware of progressive overload. And what that means is you can't train the same way forever. You constantly need to push yourself. You need to do more sets. You need to do more weight. You need to do something to challenge your muscles in order to continue making gains. Your body gets used to the routine, and it always has to be challenged. Progressive overload is a really important part of any routine. Anyway, thanks for joining, guys. Maybe I'll do a video on progressive overload if you're interested in hearing about it. I hope that helped, and join me next time. Thanks a lot, guys.